Hey guys, for our lesson for today, we are actually not going to be in our math journal. We are going to be using some other resources to work on lines, line segments, and arrays. So we are going to be looking at those things today. When you get done with the EdPuzzle video, you will have a home link and a brain pop page that you're going to do. And then for extra practice on lines, we're going to be looking at IXL AA7. So our goal for today is I can identify, describe, and draw points, lines, and line segments. So we have 3 different things that we're going to be looking at today. All right, so we are going to start by drawing some lines and giving them a name. And we name lines and line segments and arrays by letters. So when I draw a line, I have to have 2 arrows. And on a line, there are an infinite number of points on here. We're just going to find 2 points and give them a name of a letter. When we write the letters, we're going to use capital letters. So this is going to be point A. This will be point B. This is line AB. Now, when I write it out, I can write the word line AB like this, or I like to use the shorthand and draw it out like this. So I write AB and then I draw a line. We can have lines and again find any point, and I can give it those points names. So I've got point C and point D, but I can also name this line in any order. I can name lines in any order. So we could call this line DC. It doesn't matter. And we would draw it shorthand, line DC. I could also call it line CD. It doesn't matter on lines. It's different for some of the other ones, but for lines, we can go in any order. Let me show you one more example. So I can have, again, like I said, an infinite number of lines or line segments on a line, or I'm sorry, I can have an infinite number of points on the line segment or lines, and I can name any one of those points. So I would call this line, I could call it line CA. I could call it line AC. I could call it line CT. I could call it line TC. I could also call it line AT or line TA. All of those are possible names for this line. Again, I can use any of those points on there. All right, I want you to pick the line, the name of this line. You should have picked line DE and line ED. Line ED. All right, our next piece is looking at line segments. So line segments have 2 endpoints. And on my endpoints, I'm going to give each of those endpoints a name. So this endpoint I'm going to call BT, and I would write it like this. I would just draw my line in BT, or it could be TB. I could have another line segment. Again, it has to have those endpoints, and I might call this A, and then this line down here, F. So I would write it as AF or FA. Let's have one for you. What would you call this one? You should have picked line segment RS or line segment SR. All right, looking at rays. Now, rays are the exception. Rays cannot be put in any order that you want. Rays have to always start with the endpoint. So when I am naming a ray, I am going to start with my endpoint right here. So this is going to be the endpoint. My rays go out. There'll be another point on here somewhere, but I have to name it with this first one. So this is going to be ray RT, and I draw it like this. I can't call this one ray TR because T is not the endpoint. This is the only way that I can write this ray. Same thing here. I would call this one ray PQ because P is the endpoint. If I wanted to go backwards like this, I could. Normally we think about reading from left to right. With this, we're not going to go left to right. We have to start at the endpoint. So this would be ray ZY. Ray ZY. So tell me, what is this ray? You should have picked ray XW because X is the endpoint. All right, looking at these, we're going to write S next to each line segment, R next to each ray, and L next to each line. Remember, line segments have 2 points, 2 endpoints. So a line segment would look like that. Rays have an endpoint with a arrow, and then lines have 2 arrows. So this first one has 2 endpoints, so this is a line segment. This next one has an endpoint with an arrow, so this is a ray. This one has an endpoint with an arrow, so this is also a ray. What type of lines are these? These are both lines because they have the arrows at the ends, but they are also special lines. These are intersecting lines. They cross, they are intersecting. All right, what would this one be? You should have said both of those are line segments because they both have endpoints. The next one, let's go with this one right here. What is this one going to be? This will be a ray. It has an endpoint with the arrow. And what will this one be? You should have said it was a line segment because it has 2 endpoints. What will these lines be? You should have said both of those will be lines. They are special lines. They are called parallel lines. They will never cross. All right, looking at this, points D, T, Q, and M are marked. So here's D, T, Q, and M. We're going to use a straight edge to draw the following. So this first one says draw line QT. So here's Q, that's going to be my endpoint. And T, this is line segment QT, not line QT. Line segment QT. Then I'm going to draw ray DT. So I'm going to draw, the endpoint is D, going out to T. Finally, I'm going to draw a line MQ. So here's M. I'm going to extend my line out just a little bit and go through Q. Finally, we're going to draw line segments between each pair of points. How many line segments do we draw? So we're going to draw line segment AP, line segment PL, line segment LU, and then line segment UA. But we're not quite done because A can connect to L, so line segment AL, and then PU. So we are going to count our line segments that we drew. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 line segments. I am going to draw line segment OR, RU, E, EI, and IS. and SO. I can also connect RI and RS. I can connect OE and SE. And then I can go to O. So when we are done, we have a star, and we can count our line segments. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 line segments. This will be your assignment. You will be matching the lines on the left side to the names over on the right side. So I'm going to be able to look at this and see that I have an endpoint and an arrow. So R is my endpoint, S is over here. I know it's going to be a ray because it has an endpoint and an arrow. So this is ray RS, which is B. On the second one, I have an arrow, so I know it's going to be a line. So I'm going to be looking for the line RS. Don't forget, rays, you have to start with the endpoint. So number 3, the third one, will be a tricky one. For the next part, you're going to draw points B and C, and then draw a line segment, point, draw a ray, TO. And then you have 2 addition problems to solve. So you will complete those pages in your home link or on the home link page, and then the brain pop page, and then you will do your IXL online.